Good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning. It's nice to be back. I want to thank Mariel and Matthew for filling in while I was away. It's nice to see you. Greetings to anybody coming in on Zoom. Greetings to anybody on Facebook and YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the principle of non-harming as an act of love and as an act of self-love. I'm struck by the number of subtle ways we harm ourselves with our thoughts and attitudes toward ourselves and our difficulty with self-acceptance. So I'm going to talk about that today and talk a little bit about how we bring that into the outside world in a harmful way. But first, let's meditate. Why don't we start by finding a comfortable meditation posture? That is one in which you are alert but relaxed, upright but not stiff. If you're sitting, if you can, it's helpful to sit with your thighs slightly above your knees. That helps your back be straight. And without being rigid, just letting your back be straight in its natural curve. And tucking your chin a little bit. And if you had like a little string on the crown of your head, it would be like you pulled it up a little. Your chin would come in. That straightens the top of your spine and the vertebrae in your neck without stressing the muscles in your neck. And let's start with a few slow, deep breaths just to get centered. Just slow, deep breathing, about 3/4. And maybe at the top of the in-breath, just pause for a second. Notice the sensations of the body transitioning to an out-breath. Long, slow exhale. And at the bottom of the exhale, just pause for just a second. And notice the body transitioning to an in-breath. Another slow, deep breath. And as you breathe out, just begin the process of softening and relaxing. Relaxing the muscles in your face, they do a lot of work. Relaxing the muscles around your eyes, just letting your eyes rest back in their sockets. Another slow, deep breath. And relaxing your shoulders to whatever degree you can. And letting your breathing return to normal. And continuing on the out breath to just relax, soften, let go of any tension you notice in your body. Letting your belly be soft. You're walking around much of the time holding our bellies tight. But here we're just letting our bellies relax and hang. And now let your attention come to your breathing. Just noticing the sensations of the body breathing in and out. You can do this by focusing on the sensations of air moving in and out of your nose. You can do this by focusing on the sensations of the chest or belly moving up and down. Some people focus on the overall global sensations of the body breathing. And just letting your attention rest and focus on the breath. When your mind wanders off into thought, when you notice, you may notice right away, some period of time might go by. It's all good, without any recrimination or frustration. It's the natural process. The mind thinks, the heart beats, the lungs breathe, the mind thinks. And when you notice, just gently, compassionately slide your attention back to the breath as often as you need to, as many times as it is. You're not doing it wrong if you slide into thinking. And just notice. Let's start again, focused on the breath. thoughts arise, feelings may arise, sensations come and go. It's all good. When you notice, just return gently to the breath, the sensations of breathing in and out. And as we come to the end of this sitting, I invite you to notice if anything is different from before you started this meditation. Maybe you're a little more settled. And from that more settled place, may it be that this practice enables us to move through the world with kindness and compassion, to view the world through kind eyes, and bring the energy of kindness and compassion and non-harming into our households and our neighborhoods and our towns and the world at large. May the benefits of this practice be a benefit to all beings everywhere. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at ease and at peace. Thank you for your practice. Good morning, Ed. I've put the usual information in the Zoom chat, and I'll also post it on Facebook. Information how to find these sessions, how to reach me, my website. Also, I will be teaching tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, Laura Cannon's Soul Community Group. She's traveling, so I will be filling in for her, and that information is also in the Zoom chat, and I'll be posting it on Facebook. First, again, I want to thank Matthew and Marielle for filling in for me while I was traveling. Much appreciated. Today we're talking about the principle of non-harming, which is a core principle, maybe the core principle of the Dharma and the Buddha. Dedication to the core principle of non-harming. Non-harming is a profound way to love others and love ourselves. And focusing for the moment on meditation, one of the reasons why I decided to talk about this is I had an encounter with somebody in one of the meditation for beginners groups on Facebook. And she was just starting, and she says it's really hard. She finds it hard and stressful because she can't clear her mind. And I say over and over again, this is a gentleness practice. Whatever you're doing it right, as long as you're doing it. So part of non-harming is not harming ourselves through negative thinking, through being critical of ourselves for assuming that we're wrong or bad because things are not unfolding the way we want or expect, which is especially important in meditation practice, because I often hear back from people, this isn't going the way I expect. My mind isn't clearing. I can't do this. It doesn't do that. That's fine. Nobody's mind goes completely silent, almost nobody. And when you encounter people who have gotten there, it's an extremely profound experience. People like Thich Nhat Hanh or Amachi or Sri Chinmoy. I've been in the presence of these people. It changes you. So it's not going to be us. And you can be relaxed and confident with that and learn to refrain from harming yourself by telling yourself you're doing it wrong, whatever it is. And one of the things we gain from meditation is a heightened sensitivity to how our thoughts and our attitudes harm us. Negative thinking, that old the critic of the mind seems to be available to point to everything and say it's wrong. And some of those thoughts tend to come with like a feeling of authority, like these are truths. But thoughts that undermine us, that don't look upon us with thoughts that undermine us, that look upon us with something other than basic kindness, these are harmful and can hurt us. We hurt ourselves in a deep way by continuing to entertain these thoughts. That my one friend, Steve, in Sacramento, calls it thoughts of bad, stupid, and wrong. And the truth is, we're doing the best we can, and it's good enough. But we encounter that inner critic either subtly or obviously, and the harm it creates is in making it difficult to feel good about ourselves, which we deserve to feel good about ourselves. And as I said before, I often encounter people who are finding meditation hard, and they're being hard on themselves because they're not having the meditation experience that they think they should have or that they're expecting. This one person I mentioned before told me it was hard and frustrating. That is something we tell ourselves. And it is a way of inflicting harm upon ourselves by making us feel something other than kind and gentle with ourselves and what we're doing and how we're practicing. And again, this is a gentleness practice. And we have to remind ourselves of this all the time, reminding ourselves that we're okay with whatever is unfolding in the meditation moment, and it's appropriate. And practicing non-harming is an act of love at the simplest level. There are different types of love, of course. There's like the gushing romantic love, there's passionate love, and we can appreciate them all. But this is simpler, just appreciating and respecting our decisions, our autonomy, and bringing that out into the world. Being a safe person. I grew up not trusting people. I grew up in a chaotic and abusive home. And it was difficult for me to learn that the world was not basically a harmful place and that I could trust you not to hurt me. So I was harming myself with that perspective, and I was harming myself with substances, negative self-talk, and a kind of perfectionism that lacked compassion. And it came out in ways that harmed others. I was a road rage guy. I mean, I would like scream at people, but I had that energy and was mean to people. And I was a newspaper reporter at the time, and I was hell on PR people, which, in the newspaper culture, that's acceptable. But it turned out to not be acceptable to me. And what all of that was about was my inner stuff and my inner dialogue and my inability to feel good about myself and projecting that out into the world. And this is the basis of the 12-step fellowship, a safe place of no harm. And I decided somewhere along the line, I wanted to be someone who delivered that instead of what I was delivering. And when we commit harmful acts out in the world, not just to ourselves, that harms us. The tension of dishonesty, the tension of doing things that we can't feel good about, and the energy it takes to push aside those feelings or internalize them so we don't notice them. And mindfulness helps us see the impact of our behaviors, thoughts, and attitudes. It helps us more quickly notice when we're moving into that self-criticism and attitudes that don't serve us. What the Buddha referred to as constructs of the mind. Those preconceived notions and attitudes that we are accustomed to carrying around all of our lives that aren't truths. They feel like truths, but we're used to them, and they become the lenses through which we see the world. Some version of I'm not okay, some version of you're not okay. And in mindfulness practice, we can see how that is manifesting and decide to be more gentle and compassionate. Even if there's some truth to the criticisms, I have a history of being arrogant and condescending. I can go there. I have chosen not to go there anymore. And it was something that I had to work on. But we don't need to send arrows into our own hearts and have the pain of feeling bad about ourselves, which makes it harder to see where we need to grow. Self-compassion and non-harming are actually a path to growth. Not to entertain the inevitable thoughts that undermine our sense of well-being or discourage us, the kinds of negativity and self-talk, negative self-talk that contributes to depression or anxiety. Just to notice when the mind is doing that is enough. Because then we can say, I don't want to go there. To recognize the self-talk and self-criticism as a form of self-harm, and then begin from there, we can start, there's a crack in the tendency to go there. When we realize it's not necessary, it's just something that we're doing, it's a default setting that you can change. It's not an easy shift, but it's not a big thing either. Baby steps, incrementally. Just saying, I'm not going to go there. It's a kind of restraint that we learn to practice. And my friend Jeannie Dupro wrote very eloquently about this. And one of the things she wrote was, and so I remind myself as often as I must, which is very often. We have to remind ourselves that we're okay. When we notice these harmful thoughts and feelings, there are no harmful feelings, excuse me. When we notice these harmful thoughts and criticisms, we can remind ourselves, I'm okay. This isn't actually the truth. When we're sitting in meditation and the mind is chaotic, sometimes I'm sitting in meditation, it gets very quiet and still. Sometimes I'm sitting in meditation and it's like sitting in a rock and roll show with old music from the 70s that I don't even like anymore from when I used to work in radio, and romper room on steroids. And it's all okay. And I don't have to, there's no reason to be self-critical, harm myself, by saying I'm doing it wrong. So, may we love the world through our dedication to non-harming. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you again. Yeah, good reminder that we make our own. If we are joyful inside, everything is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But when we feel crappy, even if everything is beautiful, we feel crappy and we generate that energy to other people,
Mm-hmm.
and then it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a good reminder for me also, because I started my practice and didn't know I didn't practice this, and but now I realize that I need to be compassionate to myself. All those things that have happened were that I thought were good were just my expectations, and things come and go, and good and bad happens, but if we know that it's okay
Mm-hmm.
and just remain joyful inside, then we're joyful
Mm-hmm.
all over. Thank you.
Anais
Thank
Nin,
you.
the writer and philosopher early in the last century, famously said, "We don't see things as they are, we see things as we are." If I am either intentionally or not nurturing the negative energy in my own heart, that's what I'm going to see in the world. I won't be able to see the blooming rose as something beautiful. I'll just see it as something in my way. So, um, mindfulness helps us nurture a more gentle and compassionate spirit so we can bring that into the world. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. I'm glad I'm here.
I'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye bye. You too. You take care.